Hello everyone and welcome back to the Oasis.
The entertainment oasis.
This is going to be a little bit of a somber episode.
Yeah.
Because we found out a couple of days ago that the creator of Berserk passed away at the age of 54.
Kentaro Miura?
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Miura?
Something like that. We mispronounced it. Our apologies. But we decided to make a video and just pretty much summarize how we felt about, I would probably say his most popular work, which is Berserk, and how it kind of affected us, and what just what we think and what our thoughts are going to be.
Yeah. And I guess it's nice to see, especially on social media, that there's others who, just like us, we never knew him, but we loved his story so much that in his passing, people are showing his appreciation, or their appreciation for what he's given us, for his artwork, and it's one of those things, like, I'm pretty sure he knew the kind of impact he had on a lot of people.
Of course, it's really popular. I wouldn't say like extremely like mainstream, but it was enough for it to get revived, for it to like continue on as like a CGI show, and I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it didn't show any signs of ending anytime soon.
No.
So his passing came as unexpected and a shock to a lot of people, especially the people that he worked with and his family, of course.
And it's one of those scenarios where a lot of fans some fans worried that something like this might happen, because this story has been ongoing since 1989. That's when it started, or that's when he started getting published, or manga got serialized
in Japan. Yeah.
In Japan. So since 1989, he's been crafting this amazing story, Berserk, and
I mean that's when it got published, which means he had been crafting it way beforehand.
Yeah, I think he had, I was watching some stuff where another manga creator who knew him, apparently when Kentaro was 18, I guess he already had the idea of Berserk, and he mentioned that he had shown them a drawing of a man with a really long sword, presumably guts. And how he said that it's something that he wants to create, like the story he wants to create when he gets better at at drawing. I mean, at that point he was still like 18, he was still a teenager, and to think that that idea he had, that he wanted to wait until he was good enough to put out there, it became Berserk, one of my favorite stories of all time. I like it so much that I bought the anime.
It's right here.
Regular, and then just because it came out on Blu-ray, I also got it in Blu-ray, so I have it twice. The box of war, and then the Blu-ray. But it's something that I enjoyed. It was one of the first animes that introduced me to the darker side of anime, the one where there are no happy endings. It's not your slice of life anime.
Definitely not, and you're certainly not alone in that. And to expand on what you said about kind of mentioning him at an earlier age, I mean, I would argue that this was his ultimate passion, like his life. Apparently, he's been drawing manga since the age of 10. He would show it to friends and all that, and it just grew into what he did now. And he was actually he started off as the assistant from the person who made Ippo, the boxing, the boxing anime / manga. So he was his assistant, and then he went on to make his own thing, which is Berserk, which is kind of cool because I can sort of see a little bit of similarities in like the animation style and the art style of Ippo and Berserk, and I think that's really cool. A lot of other works drew influence from Berserk, that's for sure. Works like Dark Souls and Final Fantasy, and even the modern Demon Slayer manga, the Demon Slayer show. Drew influence from Berserk. So it just kind of goes to show that you know, even though it's been around since '89, you know, it's all throughout the '90s. This is when the first anime got released of it. Just how big of an influence that it's had, and so much so that it led to a continuance even to today. So
yeah, and it's just it's sad, you know, knowing that. I wonder what he must have felt like, knowing that, or I wonder if he knew that his time was already nearing its end, but knowing that he didn't complete his story, he didn't complete his baby. I wonder if, I don't know, just imagine someone who's devoted 30 plus years of their life into crafting it, and only to
he was taken so young. He was 54. I mean, he possibly could have had a lot more great works within him, you know.
Yeah,
for sure. And unfortunately, and I hate to talk about this, but it's not the first time, you know, a great artist, like a manga artist, or has had a similar passing, because I think he passed due to some heart complications, and he's not the first for the, you know, that to happen to. So I don't know if it's maybe because, you know, if you're an artist and you're stationary a lot, you know what I mean, and you're drawing and you're not super active, and you're meeting deadlines, and you know, might be a lot of stress involved with creating art and having to meet a deadline, and you're just in that one position. So it just goes to show that it's important to keep active, and you know, just try to keep a balance with your work life.
Yeah, and I don't know. I hate to say this because I know it sounds selfish, but it's sad that we're never gonna know, or at least I don't think we're ever gonna know how the story is going or was going to end. And even if it does, I wonder if it's even gonna be like his vision. You know, we don't know if he left an outline for how the rest of the story was supposed to play out. But I would have really loved to have seen that story from completion, because I would occasionally jump into the manga, and especially because there's a lot of people on YouTube who make videos of each chapter that comes out. So I would take a couple year breaks, and then I would, you know, just jump in there and watch those videos up until I get more or less caught up, because nothing against him, but he did have a tendency to take long hiatuses.
Yeah.
Which is something that a lot of fans weren't too, what's that word I'm looking for? They weren't too pleased about.
He certainly isn't the first artist to do that either, though.
Yeah.
You know, so many mangakas, I guess, what they call them, take very long breaks.
And I'm not gonna pretend like I know what it takes to, you know, to be a mangaka and say, oh well, he's just, you know, he was just being lazy or thing. I don't know. I don't know how difficult it is, how stressful it is.
It's his jobs, and like any job, anybody can get burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what profession you have, whether it be, you know, making art, whether it be just construction, any kind of job can lead to burnout.
Yeah. And I wonder if it was that in a combination with maybe some health problems he was having, then yeah, but
I don't know. It's just
yeah. I mean, I'm sure he had his reasons, good reasons for, you know, for taking a hiatus. I mean, look at how much shit we give George R.R. Martin, you know, and the same thing, people say the same thing about him. They worry that he's gonna pass before he finishes the story.
Yeah. But whether that person wants to, you know, pass down because to a lot of artists, I would imagine, is that their stories and their creative works and their ideas are very personal to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's something that you can't
something you hold to your chest.
And it's something that I feel like you can't share so lightly, because in this day and age, I mean, you just don't know who's gonna try to rip off your work. And I mean, can you imagine crafting all these ideas for so long in your head and putting them down on paper for someone just to come along and you know, and rip it off, like that would
Yeah.
probably be one of the worst feelings in the world for an artist. So, I mean, I certainly can't blame people who are kind of like, you know, very, very, I guess, quiet about it. And it's like, oh, don't worry, you guys will get it. You guys will get it when I release it. But unfortunately, we just can't see these things coming. So you just never know, and you know, it really sucks. But
and if you have
my condolences to the family.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, and if you have a moment, one thing I did like that I saw was that people on Twitter were doing is they were sharing images from the manga, like some of their favorite manga panels. And if you have a moment, check some of them out. Even if you're not a fan of the genre, just I feel like you would appreciate his art style. I mean, he had a way, like, it's kind of hard to describe, but when I look at some of his panels from the manga, it feels like he's really good at portraying a sense of depth and scale to the situation at hand, which kind of makes you feel what these characters are feeling. So if one of the characters is feeling dread or horror, like, you can
he captures it very well in his art style,
and you in turn feel that dread and that horror.
Makes you feel that much more attached.
Or that anger, you know, that the character's feeling. I highly suggest you check out some of the posts people are sharing with their favorite manga panels. It is amazing.
And I will admit that me personally, I've never read the manga. I have seen the very old anime, and I saw it. I must have seen it when I was in high school. Maybe I think I heard of it through a friend at the time, but I remember watching it and just thinking of how dark and gritty it was. I had never seen an anime like that. You know, just the art style was just like, it was just really, really rugged. You know what I mean? And it leaves an impression. Like, it really does. Like, even if you were to watch it today, the old series from the 90s, I think you'll get what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend for you to give it a watch. The new one, I mean, the CGI just doesn't do it justice. Like, the old one has a much darker feeling, in my opinion. Yeah, so if you haven't watched it, yeah, go give it a watch and tell me what you think in the comments.
Read the manga.
Or if you've already seen it, still let us know.
Let us
know what you think.
They sell the manga in these, and I still haven't gotten them because I was gonna wait for the whole collection to come out. But I mean, circumstances at hand, like, I'll probably just start buying them now. But they are these massive, they look to be leather-bound hardcovers, and yeah, they're pretty thick. And if, I don't know, I would say maybe check out the anime, and if you like it, then maybe start collecting the manga and get to experience the story outside of the anime, like, you know, what continues, because it gets it's just as good. It is, if not better than what we saw in the manga, you know, and it's gonna kill me knowing that I'm never gonna see him put his pen to paper or digital pen to pad to see his final vision the way he wanted it. But I don't know, they say that when you die, you know, all your questions are answered. So yeah, you never know, maybe when I pass I'll finally know, like, oh, so this is what was supposed to happen. It's like, but
I don't know,
truly sad situation. And
yeah,
like you said, too young, 54.
Yeah, far too young.
Yeah. But with that said, I think,
yeah, we just wanted to, like I said, just share our thoughts on the topic. And like I said before, if you want to share yours, let us know what you think in the comments below. Seriously, rest in peace. You're one of the great ones.
And I'll share a couple of his images at the end of the video, just so you guys can yeah, can see what I was talking about. But until then, thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope you guys come back to the Oasis.
The Entertainment Oasis.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out.